In the previous video, we learned how to shift graphs vertically and horizontally. Today we are going to learn another common type of transformation, which is called reflection. For example, when we look at the function f of x equals x plus 3 in parentheses squared, we can reflect the graph of that function about the x-axis by putting a negative sign in front of the function, which then becomes g of x equals the negative of x plus 3 in parentheses squared. And we can reflect the graph about the y-axis by putting a negative sign in front of the x, which then becomes h of x equals negative x plus 3 in parentheses squared. In general, we can write g of x equals the negative of f of x and h of x equals f of negative x. So when we think of the x-axis as a mirror, the graph of g of x is the mirror image of the graph f of x. And when we think of the y-axis as a mirror, the graph of h of x is the mirror image of the graph f of x. Let's look at another example for the sake of practice. F of x equals x plus 2 in parentheses squared plus 3. How can we reflect the graph of this function about the x-axis and about the y-axis? Feel free to pause the video and try it yourself. To reflect the graph about the x-axis, we put a negative sign in front of the function, which then becomes g of x equals the negative of x plus 2 in parentheses squared plus 3. Be careful and don't forget the parentheses here. We can also write this as the negative of x plus 2 in parentheses squared minus 3. And to reflect the graph about the y-axis, we put a negative sign in front of x. So we can write h of x equals negative x plus 2 in parentheses squared plus 3. The only thing we have to memorize is that a negative sign in front of a function reflects the graph about the x-axis. And a negative sign in front of the x reflects the graph about the y-axis. Very simple. If you like my videos, like, share and subscribe. Thanks for watching and happy learning, everyone.